Again, a moment. I want to read a few of these super chats out first. I don't want to miss them. Sorry. It says, first job rubbish. Arteta can find a way to win. So what's Ange and Pep's excuses about? And get fans on that represent most of the fan base, not Sard. I didn't know I was going to say that. Listen, this is the thing. I got called out a lot on my show with Mo and Sam the other day for defending Arsenal. And I realized that when you criticize Arsenal, but you don't use hurty words. So if you say, I think their transfer window was an abomination, that's seen as not criticizing. You have to just say horrible things. But I absolutely called this out on Wednesday and I stand by it. There's no excuse for Arsenal to collapse this season and end up struggling for top four. They are still one of the best teams in the league. They've still got the best defense. They've still got a brilliant midfield. They should still control the majority of games. There's no excuse to start losing. So, but I've given that same energy to the likes of Pep. Pep being run through the way he has. I don't think losing Rodri is a good enough excuse. Find a solution.
And also, why am I getting dunked on? Like,
bad opinions, probably.
Because you're always looking for the negativity. Even when we find a way, which is what football is about. You find a way.
I don't look for the negativity. I just say what I've seen.
I'll be honest with you. It wasn't so much. You were actually one of the most positive. The first three people that spoke are normally the most positive. They started with, it was really good. But why Sterling playing? Again, I'm not an Arsenal fan, right? So I can't speak for you. But I sit there and I'm like, I wouldn't be focusing on Sterling starting if my team had just won 2-0 like that. That would not be my focus. But this is why I love the Football Terrace, because everyone's got a different view and different energy. Let me get through some more of these super chats, though, guys, and we'll come back to you lot. Sterling is frustrating to watch, but he's better than what we've got for the next 6 to 7 weeks. We need to recall a loan when we didn't buy in January. Yeah, well, I don't think you can recall the loans now. I think you're past that point. But, Robert, I'm going to be honest with you. An academy player is either going to do as bad or better. I don't think you can play worse than Sterling did. So I do disagree with that take. I think Sterling should be taken out the firing line and another youngster given a chance. AMT says, you're right. Second most goals scored. Imagine if we had a prolific striker. Then what is what AMT says here.
And that's fair enough, AMT. Like, if we had a prolific striker, maybe we would have scored more goals. But the games that we have lost this season are games that it wasn't based on the fact that we didn't score. It was based on other factors. So if those factors happened, prolific striker or not, we probably would have still drawn those games and lost those games. But talking games that we had to play 10 men, regardless of what you say, a prolific striker would have had to either be taken out or fall back to help defend because we're playing 10 men versus 11. And that might not score.
Based on Dio, every team, guys, based on Dio's logic, every time you play with 10 men, you're supposed to lose no matter who you have.
No, I didn't say lose.
That's what Dio just said.
That's not what I said. What I simply said is if you play with 10 men, you are going to have to change how you play, regardless of what you say. So, prolific striker or not, once you change your style of play, your prolific striker will change the way he attacks the box as well. That's standard.
I hear that.
And just to add on that, for me, it highlights the job that Mikel Arteta has done, because I think from an attacking perspective, we're one of the worst attacking man for man individually. And one of the reasons why I wasn't confident walking into the season in terms of actually winning the league was I didn't think Trossard, Martinelli, Sterling was good enough to go out and win the league, right? So even with Havertz as well included. So for us to be second in terms of goals scored with the front line that we have, I think Villa had a better front line than us, or have a better front line than us, but not Spurs. Chelsea have got better man for man than us. City man for man's better. So there's about 6 or 7 teams whose front line is significantly better than Arsenal's. And for us to be second shows that if we had better quality, if you had a better starting left winger and a better starting forward, the levels this team could probably kick on with.
I hear that. Robert here says, that's just about me at football. That's just alcoholism. It's not alcoholism. People have got to stop using that word for people that like a drink. Alcoholism is losing control over your drinking, excessive drinking, and having like an excessive desire to drink and being dependent on it. Going out on a Saturday and having a few beers with your mates and having a good time is not alcoholism, my friend. It's not in any way, shape, or form. So let's be very mindful.
Robert, let me jump in. Hold on. Robert, there's a difference between alcoholism and drunkard. Drunkards go out to have fun, get drunk, go home. Alcoholism, just
in England, though, even drunkard, like going out and having a good time with your friends is just is pretty normal. Like if you got a mate, like you and your mates get drunk on a Saturday, no one in England calls you a drunk. You're not a drunk for doing that. It's once, like, you're a drunk if it's like 5-6 times a week waiting outside Weatherspoons at 10 a.m. for it to open. That's a problem, maybe. But yeah, having a few drinks at football, like I'm not gonna make it look bad. I'm gonna go to Agal then, Brandon. Agal, what did you make of today's game and performance, mate?
Respect on Mikel Merino and Mikel Arteta's masterclass right there, because a lot of people were clowning Arsenal for even entertaining the fact that Mikel Merino could be coming in as an auxiliary striker. Terry, I was on the top 6. We were talking about it, and you were almost you and a lot of the people on the panelists were almost like, "This is a joke, right? It's not serious." But
just to address you that right at the start of the show, I held my hands up and said I laughed at it, and I shouldn't. It did very well. So yeah,
So he came on, and I think a lot of people had that mentality, laughing at it, clowning it. But Arteta identified something that Mikel Merino might actually be good at. He's actually statistically the best finisher this season per 90 minutes, not only for Arsenal, not only for every midfielder in the league, but for a majority of players in the league right now. And he scored, and him scoring that brace, he's earned his starting spot in the next game. Talking about Raheem Sterling quickly, I feel like we got scammed and we didn't even pay a penny for Raheem Sterling. He's no longer of the level to be playing. So fair play, take him out of the firing line. He should not be starting going forward. The midfield, only Declan Rice out of the midfield stood up today. I looked at Partey and Odegaard at times. They did not look like they're up to their best. I need more from the captain. I need more goal scoring or more shots or more creativity in the final third, where you look like you're going to be getting at the end of some of these chances, because today it was a carry job and Ethan looked like Bukayo Saka out there. The way that he was carrying Arsenal, carrying us forward, he was the guy who was getting the most dangerous, the most threat, the most flair on the pitch came from him. And Leandro Trossard and some of the other players and the attackers in this team have to look at themselves and say, how is a 17-year-old carrying the team when I'm more experienced and I should be doing better than what I'm doing? Then you look at our defense. Guys, as bad as our attack is, our defense, our goalkeeper will keep us in games. We just need to be able to score and finish our dinner when we get our chances. And Mikel Merino coming on today, he earned the chance to start in the next game. And Mikel Arteta gets clowned by a lot of people, gets made jokes about, gets compared to Pep, gets compared to all these players. Today he pulled a David Moyes. He came out. We got the result with the midfielder playing up top. We got the goals, and I think he doesn't get enough credit for what we've been doing this season. Still 4 points off top with Odegaard injured, Saka injured. We've had all our players pretty much injured except for Trossard and Raya this season, and we're still touching distance in the league, third in the Champions League. Don't forget, Man City fell off in the Champions League with those injuries also. And as for goals scored, we don't have a clinical striker. We don't have a player in the top 10 in the league, but we're still up here. That just goes to show you what we've been able to do with the limited attack that we have to our disposal.
Sorry, Mo, quick question, Mo, for you. Quick question. Do you know who the Arsenal player for January is?
God, here we go. What do you
Do
want?
you know who the Arsenal player for January is? Do you know who the player for January?
Why would I care, bro? Why is that important? Do I watch all the games of Arsenal? Yes. Do I analyze the games? Yes. Am I on more shows than you?
He's got you there. He's got you. He's winding you up.
No. But by the way, can I mention something, Mo? Yeah. You know why you're right and wrong, because we needed to get a left back to replace Zinchenko. But because of Miles Lewis-Skelly, that's why you look right now. But if it wasn't going into the season, Miles Lewis-Skelly at left back was not the original plan. The original plan.
Am I supposed to know that, or your manager, Igal? Isn't the manager that is coaching?
No, I'm saying it's hindsight. It's hindsight. You're correct based on hindsight.
It's hindsight. Okay, I don't want to go into argument, guys. It's hindsight for us, but for the people that work at the club day to day, they should have known.
But he's also a midfielder, though, Mo.
Maybe they're right about Mikel Merino.
Guys, look, on this, we could argue about this all day. You're only going to... I think it's far too early to say whether Calafiori has been a bust of a signing or a brilliant signing. And what I mean by that is give it a couple more seasons, see where he ends up, see how good he ends up becoming. Because let's just say there's an injury to Gabriel next year and he plays half the season or most of the season and looks brilliant. We're going to go to, it was a great signing again. I just feel like he's a young player who hasn't got a set position yet, which is quite normal. I wouldn't say he's been a shocking signing. I'd say the injuries that he's had are more of a concern than his ability on the ball and where he can actually play.
Exactly.
That would be
can I correct you, Terry? I'm sorry. You said, hold on. Dayo, it's something I didn't say. Stop. Dayo, stop. Okay, I never said that Calafiori is a bad signing. I actually think Calafiori is a top player that I wanted him at Inter. The fact that what I said is that Should Arsenal have spent that money on a striker before they sign a left back? The signing of Calafiori is very good.
I think
Like,
okay.
get my point.
Well, I think most of us this week we discussed it on the terrace, and we've all said, well, I can't speak for the panelists that weren't on, but I said yes, they should. So yeah, we've had that debate, absolutely. But he's there now, and I think he's a good player, and he could end up being very good for Arsenal over the years to come. Brandon, an important game today. You were obviously so thrilled that you put your coat on indoors. I don't know why, but your coat's on in the house. But yeah, what did you make of today, Brandon? Really important 3 points for your team.
Yeah, Mikel and the kids saved Mikel. That's how I'll put it. I kind of agree with what Gal said. I think Mikel Merino definitely deserves credit coming off the bench. He had 3 opportunities, scored 2 of them. That's a better ratio than Havertz, believe it or not. 3 opportunities and 2 goals. Maybe we should play him from now on up front. No, I'm joking. Yeah.
City scored.
Because performers, Ethan Wanyeri and Lewis Skelly again, top performances. And then obviously Mikel Merino off the bench. Aside from that, the rest of them in midfield and attacking positions that started the game today were an absolute disgrace. Simple as. For the abilities that they have, you know, your likes of Trossard, your likes of Odegaard, Thomas Partey, etc. It looked like them lot in particular were still in Dubai, to be honest with you. I thought they was really poor, Terry, to be honest with you. And we're extremely fortunate in the sense that it was only Leicester. Let's be real about it now. You know, Leicester have won 3 games all season under Ruud van Nistelrooy. So this ain't anything to get too excited about. Happy we won, of course. You know, we keep it to a 4-point gap. We keep applying the pressure. You know, our season remains intact for at least another week. But when you look to the performance overall today from the entire team, not just the individuals that stepped up, but the entire team, it is a little bit worrying, you know, when you think that we've got games against Chelsea to come up, games against, you know, the tougher opposition, let's just put it that way. And I don't suspect that we're going to go on and win the league anyway, so it makes no difference to me. But, you know, it's nice to see that, you know, Mikel Arteta spoke about this week using internal solutions, and, you know, he's come up with an internal solution. Nobody else was really offering anything in attack apart from Ethan, you know, unlucky not to score when he hit the post and hit the top of the crossbar. And he brings on Mikel Merino, which at the time, I've got to be honest, I thought, well, why are you bringing him on? You know, we've got a young lad on the bench who, okay, he hasn't played for Arsenal before in the first team. He's an academy player, you know, but he's actually a striker. Why don't you just bring him on? But, you know, in the end, he made the right decision, he made the right decision. He brought on Mikel Merino and he won us the game. So, you know, we carry on for another week or so and let's see what happens in the next one. That's all we can do.
No, mate, certainly. That is. I think you're right. That is all you can do from now is put a bit of pressure on to Liverpool and hope that they concede. Rooney here says 1-0 City. Edison direct to Mamouche looking scary. Do you know what's really funny? There was a little nudge. There's a little nudge that Mamouche puts on what's his fucking name, Trippier. And I'm looking at it and I laugh when I saw it because I just went, the other day, the whole world was trying to tell me that's giving us a foul. They're rarely giving us fouls, those little nudges when a player's underneath you. But there we go. Very good finish from Mamouche, but we'll cover that on the City match reaction later. But look, I'll end the show by saying this. I think there's a long way to go for Arsenal, but I thought that the young guns stood up massively today. Brilliant cameo up front from Merino. And look, Liverpool are going to play twice now before you play that West Ham game next Saturday. So, look, I'm excited to see what happens with this title race now because Liverpool should be winning the league from this point. But that almost makes the jeopardy a little bit more fun. But I'm not an Arsenal fan, so I'm not emotionally involved. So it's great.